Robert Kiyosaki is the author of more than 25 books, best known for his Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, which have sold over 41 million copies worldwide. He went from being a school dropout, Vietnam helicopter pilot, and broke businessman to becoming a multi-millionaire investor and best-selling author. And today we're going to look at my take on his top 10 rules of success. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 for my top 10, top 10, 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Robert Kiyosaki, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Take on challenges.
I only became an entrepreneur because it was the greatest challenge I could take on as far as my personal education, personal development.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to make money, and as I said, my first business was a nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business, and the mistake I made, I was successful. And we grew internationally so fast, I just couldn't finance my success. And so I started borrowing money, and which was good. I started to learn how to raise capital. I learned how to negotiating, and the reason I was in Korea fighting Taekwondo was I was out there negotiating anyway for production because we were manufacturing in Hawaii, where the cost of manufacturing was too high.
Sure.
So I had to fly to Korea and Taiwan to negotiate manufacturing. I tell you, man, you're not stupid until you're negotiating against Koreans and Taiwanese, man. Those guys had me coming and going up one side and down the other. But that's what I did it for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is to learn. And to learn to finance, learn how to factor, how to ship and then factor my inventory and all this stuff. And I learned so much as I was going broke, successfully going broke. And so when I explain to young people, that's what I did it for. That's how you get smarter. But in this academic culture, we're just talking about Jordan Peterson, how he rails up against academics. Well, the academic culture, the person who makes the most mistakes is a stupid person. But an entrepreneur, the person that makes the most mistakes and learns from them is the rich person. So I always say to young entrepreneurs, money will never make you rich. It's your experience, how much you learn, the mistakes you make, the people you make. And all of those horrible experiences, they're all good experiences if you learn from them.
Sure.
And that's the attitudinal difference of an entrepreneur. Most guys are small business guys, they're not entrepreneurs. They open a pizza shop to make money and they get stuck in that pizza shop forever. They go, well, that's not me. And the subject of entrepreneur is a massive subject. So you got a drug dealer peddling drugs is also an entrepreneur, as is Jeff Bezos, running the biggest product-pushing company in the whole world. They're both entrepreneurs. But the gap between the drug dealer and Bezos, massive. So when I speak to young people, I say, what kind of entrepreneur do you want to be? And if you're just here to make money, since you can do that, but it's not exciting.
Rule number 2, understand how money works.
I'm trying to explain to you, when they tell you get out of debt, that's stupid because the money is debt. And the only way money gets out of debt is via taxes. So all the people who work for money, you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what's lesson number 1?
Rich people don't work for money.
Correct. Money is debt. I use debt as money. And everybody thinks getting in debt is bad. Well, who told you that? I think the stock market is for losers. Why would you put money in the stock market when it's manipulated? That's what I think about. So I'm always watching the manipulation going on behind the scenes. That's what my brain is focusing on all the time. And I don't pay taxes. The question is, how is it I don't pay taxes? And I can tell you. That's an important question, because most Romanians and most people in the United States cheat on their taxes because they hate taxes so much. But you don't have to cheat on taxes if you understood how money was working. You think Donald Trump pays taxes? No.
Nobody has seen his tax returns.
Yeah, I know him. He's my friend. We don't pay taxes. That's the question. How is it we do that? That's an intelligent question. The reason you can't ask me this question because you don't know how I do it. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm constantly thinking about how do I make money? How do I serve more people? How do I create new businesses, make more money, and pay less taxes and serve more people?
Rule number 3, be tough as nails.
Well, that's why I keep saying to the millennials, they're a pack of wimps. I meet millennials who are just horrifyingly weak. Snowflakes, I call them. They go to college and
doormats.
They're taught trigger events or whatever. I don't know what they say today, but they've got to have special rooms where there's no whatever. I'm going, holy mackerel! Welcome to the real world, And there's other millennials who are as tough as nails. I mean, this is the biggest opportunity they've ever had.
Huge.
So it just depends upon what's between this year and this year, what's in your heart.
Rule number 4, work on yourself.
I read constantly. Right now, the book I'm reading is a personal development book. It's called Happiness Morning. That's number 1. And the second book is called The Miracle Morning and Happiness Advantage. One's written by a Harvard teacher, The Happiness Advantage, fantastic book. And the other book is Miracle Morning, written by an entrepreneur. And they say the same things, but in different ways. So I read both of them 3 times because they're so powerful. But I'm working on me. You see, the economy out there is just the economy. If you think it's a bad economy, it's because your bad economy is here. If you think it's, those jobs are tough, that's because that's you in here. And as any entrepreneur knows, it's always a good economy. No matter which way it's going, I can always make some money. It's always good. It's always opportunity. So I've got to protect the spirit or the entrepreneurial mindset inside of me. So when the markets crash, I make more money. Unfortunately, for the average person without financial education, the guy who invested for the long term, for job security, their house is an asset and all that stuff, they got wiped out. That's what happened in 2007 right here. They got wiped out by the crash and others got richer by the crash. And that's the difference.
Also, if you want to have more self-love and motivation, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
I don't cheat on my wife. I don't cheat on my customers. I don't cheat people. I don't cut corners. If I can't do something, I'll tell you up front. If I screw up, I'll tell you. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. When you look at business is the same thing. Business is a team sport.
Rule number 5, learn from monopoly.
I think there's people trying to do good by educating outside of the traditional school system where I think they're more limited.
Correct. And that's why I created the cash flow board game, is because I learned about money. I learned about money playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
I learned more about life playing Monopoly than I did in 4 years of college.
Yeah.
I went to a really good school, the best schools in the world, U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. I came out a rich man, but it didn't teach me much about money. I was only a high-paid employee.
Rule number 6, don't let yourself get brainwashed.
I just think about the economy, business, world affairs. My job is to make complex financial systems simple enough so the average person can understand it. That is extremely difficult because most people are brainwashed when it comes to money. Go to school, get a job, work hard, pay your taxes, save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. Everybody who follows that program is been brainwashed. I don't even care about money. I make a lot of money because I understand the system. I would never go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. I do everything exactly opposite.
Rule number 7, have a family office.
It is insane. The several things that I find, one more time, second book, Cash Flow Quadrant, ES, on the right side is B and I. And that's where guys like Mark Cuban and Damon Johns come from. They're professional investors. They acquire companies, they finance companies. They have what's called family offices, not home businesses or home offices. They're family offices. So I have a family office. So when I was a young man, my rich dad said to me, someday you want a family office. I said, what does that mean? I got an office. He goes, no. It's where you have a whole team of people moving your money for you because you got so much money coming in. Say too much money is a problem also because you got to keep moving it. So I have a family office, and that was part of the whole process of becoming rich was so I could learn to have a family office. And the average guy has a 401k. Why am I kicking his butt? I don't care if he went to Harvard. I'll kick his butt up one side and down the other, making millions, not paying taxes, but keep moving my money.
Rule number 8, focus on spiritual intelligence.
Well, I always say quit your job, but that's not, I don't have a job. I've only had one job. And I never wanted a job after that because I had to be hungry. Not going to say, but we're all different. We're humans, we're different beings. If I show you this diagram here, it's why I created my cash flow board game. Because we have 4 different intelligences. We have mental intelligence. We have, I don't know what that one is, physical intelligence. You probably have very good physical to make, football and all that.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence, but spiritual intelligence. So I went to military school in New York. The first thing is spiritual. I become a Marine. It's spiritual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're putting your life on the freaking line.
Yeah.
So Nassim Taleb, wrote the book, The Black Swan. He also wrote Anti-Fragile. He says there's 3 kinds of people in the world. There's fragile, and that's what our school systems are putting out. Fragile, wimpy, snowflakes. And that's your choice. You want to be that way? Have a good life. The second type is that, so a fragile is like a champagne flute.
Yep.
You hit it shatters. Then the second one is called robust. And a robust person is like the rock. You can pound on them, dump on them.
Yeah.
They take it. But that's all they do. They take it. And then anti-fragile is somebody like you where they pound the crap out of you and you get smarter and better because of it. So I love Nassim Taleb. A lot of people call him Dr. Doom. But the way I look at this whole thing, this economy is, we're probably going into a depression. We're not going to get out of this one.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And so the thing is this good for you or bad for you? I'm looking forward to it. The last crash was 2008. And I made more money in 2008 than in my whole life. So this one here, 2020, I'm going to get even richer. But other people are going to get poor. And if they're baby boomers, they're going to blame it on this coronavirus. Oh, my health. Hey, hit the road. Put on some running shoes. Change your diet. Get some sunlight. Get healthy. Don't be a wimp. But, oh, no, I'm so afraid of dying. I'm going, you're already dead. You don't even know it yet. In the Marine Corps, we used to call them corpse people.
Right. Corpse, not core. Yeah.
A corpseman. No, a corpseman. A corpseman is a person who's dead but doesn't know it.
Wow.
They're so afraid of dying. They're already dead.
Yeah. It's about taking action, taking control of your life, taking control of your health, your finances, everything.
This is the best time to be alive right now.
Rule number 9, choose how you will live.
What should the people understand about this way of living? Because we cannot all be entrepreneurs. Some people need to get some jobs. Or should we all try and look at how we can change our lives in the way you show it in your books and your keynotes?
It's up to the person. It's up to the person. It's a free choice. You want to be an employee, you choose to be an employee. You want to be an entrepreneur, you choose to be an entrepreneur, but you've got to study. They're two different people. What you have to study is different. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they're different people. An entrepreneur is extremely different than an employee. But it's a different study. The trouble is our school system trains us to be employees. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay your taxes, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That makes you poor.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is learn how to make mistakes.
The biggest thing for an entrepreneur is you've got to learn how to make mistakes. And the school punishes you for making mistakes. Second, you have to operate in a team. Everybody talks about team, except in school. If you take tests as a team, you're called cheaters. So just those two mind constructs The average guy goes out there afraid of making a mistake and starts a business and they make mistakes, obviously. Then they don't have a team.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Robert on how to know the rules that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what is the challenge in front of you that you need to take on? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're still here watching and you promise, you commit, let's go Believe Nation. We don't just watch videos here, we do something about it. If you're gonna commit to taking action today, give me a hashtag Believe in the comments below. I want to celebrate you.
It's all mindset, entrepreneur, skill set. I have to sell, I have to communicate, I have to know how to talk to accountants, attorneys, and all that stuff. And then the rules. The rules are different for small entrepreneurs and big entrepreneurs. And I love the government because you write the rules for these guys. And unfortunately, what upsets the socialists on this side is they don't know the rules on this side. You know, I would never break a law intentionally. I don't have to. So I don't have to pay tax as long as I'm like Elon Musk in partnership with the government. And that was always my ultimate goal, was to be a good enough entrepreneur that the government would want me as a partner. So when I buy, 1,600 units down in Tucson, government loves me because I'm providing housing. So I'm an entrepreneur in housing. I don't flip houses. That's a crime what they do, And on top of that, when you flip a house, the government charges you higher taxes to do that. As long as I rent the house, which I'm providing housing, they give me tax breaks. And when I borrow money, the government loves that because the government needs debtors. They don't need savers. They got plenty of money, they just print it. See, it's all opposite. These guys are opposite from these guys here.
If you want 10 more amazing rules from Robert Kiyosaki, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You have to be a lifelong learner. I am studying, learning constantly. In school, we're taught to take our tests on our own.